Today's topic, how to deal with anxiety. Today I want to show you how you can deal with anxiety and how you can overcome your anxiety. And from coaching so many amazing people in Skype coaching sessions over the last couple of months, I discovered that there are a lot of links between the inability to manifest your dreams and things that are holding you back in your life. For example, trauma, addiction, and anxiety. And I used to be a very anxious person. In fact, in my teenage years, I was so terrified and I was so, you could say tormented by social anxiety that I couldn't even take my shirt off in front of my friends. I couldn't even go to the lake and enjoy myself in the summer because I was so anxious and so scared. I had to overcome a lot of trauma in my life, and at some point I was so anxious that I couldn't enjoy my life anymore. And the thought of anyone seeing my scars that I had from my heart surgeries made me so terrified and made me so full of self-hate that anxiety was guiding my life back then. And I hope you appreciate me also talking about such topics that are not 100% directly related to the law of attraction, but that have an effect on your ability to manifest. I would love to hear from you if you appreciate these kind of episodes, and if you want me to talk about subjects like anxiety, trauma, addiction, and all these kind of emotional problems that a lot of people are suffering from, then I would love to hear from you, and you can send me an email at sebastian@affirmationtomanifestation.com, because the only way for me to find out if you resonate with these topics is when I get your feedback. So now let's start with the topic. How do you deal with anxiety? The first thing you have to do is to stop identifying yourself as an anxious person. If you tell everyone, or you just tell yourself, I'm anxious, I have social anxiety, I have anxiety disorder, I have anxiety, I am this person, always remember that you become who you think you are. And even though a doctor might have diagnosed you with anxiety disorder, and even though another doctor might have told you you have social anxiety, and even though right now you have the symptoms of anxiety, it doesn't mean that you are your disease. It doesn't mean that you are your problem. The more you identify with the symptoms, the more you become this anxious person. And I know that from my own life. I know it from my anxiety because I always identified as the anxious person. And even family members said you're so shy, you're so anxious. And I believed it. And I believed that I was this person. And I did the same with my immune system because I was born with a congenital heart defect. I had heart surgeries in my life, one as a teenager and one as a baby. And as a result, everyone told me you have to be careful, be very careful. Oh, don't get sick, be careful. You have a weak immune system. And then I told myself that I'm the person with a weak immune system. And then I was always sick. And since I no longer do that, since I no longer identify with these symptoms, I no longer have the symptoms. Because I'm no longer the person who's a vibrational match to these symptoms. So the more you identify yourself as an anxious person, as somebody who's suffering from anxiety, the more you will become this person and the more you will suffer. I don't want you to be your anxiety. I want you to be stronger than your anxiety. And then I invite you to crawl back memory lane and to overcome your trauma. And yes, I say crawl because sometimes you have to crawl. This can be a very, very, very painful process. I mean, I overcame so much trauma in my life. Right after birth, my twin brother died. Then I had an open heart surgery as a baby. Then I was always the loner in school. I was always picked last in sport. And I had all kinds of other issues and health issues, and I had all kinds of insecurities to overcome. So yes, I know exactly how it feels to be anxious and to have anxiety. And that's also why I know that even though it's a very painful process, you need to overcome your trauma. This is so, so important. And if you want to work with me in a Skype coaching session, I'm very happy to help you to overcome your trauma because I've overcome my trauma. And I just know how it's done. And I don't say this to sound arrogant. I say this because I've tried so many different ways. I've worked with therapists. I've worked with energy healers. I've worked with life coaches. And I can share my journey and how I overcame my trauma with you in case you want that. In case you want to do it for yourself, it's also totally okay. I just want you to know that if you are interested in a specific program that helps you to overcome your trauma, then you might be interested in the Vibration Rocket program, which you can find out more about if you click on the link in the description, because one of the bonuses that you get for free if you decide to invest in it is a trauma transformation audio course in which I share all the techniques that I used to overcome my trauma, and you can use the same techniques. But you have to go back and you have to overcome your trauma, because so often your anxiety is the result of past trauma. And if you only try to medicate your anxiety with medication, but you never work on the real problem, on what really caused this anxiety, then you will always be in this vicious cycle of pumping your body full of more medication, and more medication without ever solving the issue. And don't get me wrong, in the short term, medication can be a perfect solution for some people, but in the long term, you also want to work on the root of the problem. And please stay away from any substance you can think of, and I really mean anything. No alcohol, no drugs, and not even a little bit of alcohol. This can negatively affect your anxiety. And I still remember as a teenager, I've never been an alcoholic, and nowadays I don't drink anything, but back then I used to drink. When I was 19, when I was 20, when I was 18, I used to drink whenever I went out with friends, and I didn't drink because, I enjoy the feeling. That's what anxious people always say. I like to have 1 or 2 drinks. It makes me feel better. Yeah, but why does it make you feel better? Because you forget about your anxiety for a moment. I always call alcohol liquid courage, because it basically gives you this appearance and the mask that you are courageous, which you are deep down not. And it's so important that you no longer rely on any substances to feel more courageous and to feel less anxious. So please, in case you use alcohol, even if it's just a little bit of alcohol, to overcome your anxiety, I would give you the advice to no longer do that and to instead work on the root of the problem. But what I want you to do is to treat yourself like someone you loved dearly, because the more you treat yourself like somebody you loved, the more you will fall in love with yourself. If you, for example, give yourself enough rest, if you provide your body with the best food, if you provide your body with exercise, with fresh air, if you hug yourself, and yes, I know it sounds completely weird, but if you hug yourself and you tell yourself, I love me, I love myself, I am worthy, I am a worthy human being, this alone can have a huge positive effect on your anxiety. And then, now it gets even weirder. I want you to talk to the universe, because the universe is your best friend. Of course, you can also talk to me in a Skype coaching session. Like I said before, I offer Skype coaching, and you can also find a link to that in the description. But I also want you to talk to the divine. I want you to talk to the universe, and I want you to get a feeling for the fact that you are always protected and that you are never alone. And in case you're already interested in the law of attraction and you are already on a spiritual journey, then you might be very open to the idea. But I also know that I take a risk when I publish these episodes that are not really directly related to the law of attraction. Because then somebody who suffers from anxiety, and maybe that's you find this episode and you think to yourself, affirmation to manifestation? Law of attraction? What? That's weird. He wants me to talk to the universe? He's completely crazy. And if you think that right now, that's okay. That's totally okay. I don't force you to do anything. I just want to share tips with you that I know from my personal experience and from coaching amazing people in Skype coaching sessions that they work. And if you want, you can just give it a shot. You have nothing to lose. Just talk to the universe, talk to the divine, and you might receive a sign or two from the universe. And practice deep breathing whenever you get an anxiety attack. Whenever you are in the situation that you feel very anxious, and you might even be right before an anxiety attack, I want you to take deep breath. Because often we breathe very shallow, especially when we are nervous, when we are anxious, and when you take deep breath, this alone can help you to calm down and to feel less anxious. And focus on exercising. Exercise at least 20 minutes every day. And this is a tip that I give all of my Skype coaching clients who suffer from anxiety, no matter if it's social anxiety or any other related anxiety. If you lift weights, if you run, if you go out, if you exercise, if you move your body, this can help you to feel more confident in your body, to feel better, and to feel less anxious. And please don't use the current situation as an excuse. I also got myself a little stepper and 2 dumbbells. So if I can do it, then you can do it too. And be honest with your friends and family. Let them know how you really feel. And I think this is the biggest difference between Germany and, for example, the USA, or let's say the culture in Germany and the culture in the USA. And I know I always have to be careful what I say here because most of my clients and most of my listeners are American. I just want you to think about this. When you, for example, ask a German, "How are you?" he might tell you that he's fine, or he might tell you that he's not fine. Because when we ask this question, at least in the part of Germany where I'm from, we really want to know, how are you? But when I traveled the world, and especially when I've been to the US and to the UK, whenever I got asked, how are you? And I had a bad day and I answered in an honest way, the other person couldn't deal with it. Because from a cultural perspective, the only thing that was accepted was, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Even though the person might be in complete despair and right before jumping off a bridge, they will still say, "Oh, I'm fine, thanks, and how are you?" And in this case, I think a little bit of German directness and honesty can work wonders. So if you talk to your family and you talk to your friends, let them know how you really feel. Let them know how you really are. Even though they might be a little bit shocked in the beginning, I want you to be honest, because that's the only way for you to have an honest and authentic conversation and relationship with other people. And this can make you feel less anxious, because then you feel like you are safe when you talk to others. You no longer have to wear a mask. And practice meditation. If you, for example, practice transcendental meditation, a short mantra meditation every day, this can already have a huge effect on your anxiety. You can, for example, close your eyes, take a deep breath and just repeat the following mantra in your mind. I am calm and relaxed. I am calm and relaxed. I am calm and relaxed. And if you do this for at least 5 to 10 minutes every day, this can have a huge effect. And if you want to get instant access to a meditation that allows you to raise your vibration, and also to the Trauma Transformation audio course that I mentioned earlier in this episode, then you can click on the link in the description and find out more about the Vibration Rocket program. And if you want to work with me as your coach, and if you want me to help you to overcome your anxiety, and if you want to manifest your dreams, then you can click on the second link in the description and find out more about Skype coaching with me. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please send out some love to the YouTube universe by giving this video a big thumbs up. And I would also appreciate it if you would leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to click on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you.